Hi folks, welcome back to the Hoard. It's about 2:30, November 17th, Sunday, about 56 degrees. This one says 58 degrees. Been a rainy day today. You can see my camera's even fogging up a bit. So, what have I been up to today? I woke up, looked at the clock, looked out the window, turned off the alarm clock because I did not get up and go to the flea market. So the flea market did not happen today. No flea market. The second thing that didn't happen today, that 200X deal, that's not happening, or it didn't happen today either. Kid's been advertising that bike forever. And he keeps saying $550 or best offer. So I call him up and I say, or I text him and I say, so what kind of offers are you getting? He's like, I don't have an offer. I really don't have any offers. He says, but there's a lot of interest. I said, okay, it's good that there's a lot of interest. And I had done business with this kid before, and I'm going to try to do all this in one video, not two. You guys could probably already guess what the video is going to be about because I've walked by what I've been up to like 14 times. But anyway, yeah, I bought one of the bikes from this kid. I think it was a 200S, and I don't think it was a leaker. I think it was that guy. I think it was this guy. This 200X here. I think I bought that one from him. I think it was a complete bike in decent shape, if I'm recalling properly. I think the plastic was good. Oh God, it's hard to get hold. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was this bike I got from him. Right? This quad. Yeah, I think it was this guy, and I'm pretty sure it was that guy. And I forgot what I gave him for it. I paid quite a bit for it. It wasn't one of those $100 wonders. I think I gave him 3 and change, $375, major part of $400, because it wasn't. I don't think it was that one. No, I know where that 185 came from. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was that one I just showed you. So I've bought stuff from this kid before, and it didn't strike me as if he was quite that flaky before. He seemed to want to sell the bike, and he sold it. This time, I don't know if he doesn't want to sell it, if somebody is trying to make him sell it, or if he needs money and that's why he's selling it, or if he's just, playing the game of let me see what's possible, like if I could get $1 million. Well, you can't ask $550 for a bike and then expect to get $1 million. If you ask $550 for a bike, the most you could expect to get is $550, and typically people bargain a little bit. So if you ask $550 and you get $450, you've probably done pretty good. If you get $500, you've probably done very, very good. And if you get the entire price, you probably found somebody who's willing to pay too much money for things. So anyhow, that's the 200X story. So, and I'm not wasting any time with it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give him one last call tonight and see if I could close the deal. If I can't close it tonight, I'm just going to shut it down. I can't waste any more time. There's always another deal going by. So. And I'm overstocked, so I shouldn't even be playing with this. Anyway, so now that I've babbled about the 200X deal, that's not going to work out for the last 5 minutes. Let me go forward with what I've been up to. You guys could see there used to be that shelf thing here, so I took it down, and it's interesting because now you can see, that there's an international harvester in the Hoard. I don't know, could you guys see that thing? There's an international harvester, Bolens. That's a 650. But the guy I'm not sure if he put an 8 horsepower or 10 horsepower, a modern engine on it. That's a Bolens. I think that's a G10. That's a G10. And the Rusty Bolens right there. I think you guys could see it, Mr. Rusty. I think that's a 1050. And I think there's another 1050. Is there another 1050? Nope. Nope, that's the G. We got a Craftsman here. That's got the hydrostatic and the Kohler. And then we got this guy here, another big Sears. This is an Super Tractor ST16. I think it's known as. It's got that big monster Rollins on it, as you can see. So anyway, and lastly, the last Bolens that has to come in is this guy. Anyhow, so what am I up to? What I'd like to have happen is I'd like to preset this place that if it's in this house, if it's in this garage, that it's actually going to get worked on this year. I'm going to do something with it this year. So stuff I'm not going to do anything with this year. I'm not doing anything with this case. I don't know, could you guys see it? In the back of the seat there, case. I'm not doing anything with the case. And then I got to go through the rest of these and figure out what I'm not doing something with. And move them on out. When I was a kid, I was an Italian kid hanging out with a bunch of Irish kids, and they used to love to tell me a joke, and it appears as if that joke has come true. But they used to say, "Why is Italy shaped like a boot?" And, no insult meant for anybody out there because my heritage is Italian, but the response would be because you couldn't fit that much crap in a sneaker. I'm beginning to think that about my garage. I have so many things I want to keep in here and so many things I want to work on and so many different projects, but with no space you can't work on anything. And if you can't bring them in to work on them, you're kind of screwed. And on top of all of what I want to work on, see the ceiling? If you look at the gable ends, if you go out off to the gable ends are vented. So any heat that I might put into this place would instantly, set up a chimney effect. See, those are all, that's all vented, all underneath there. That's just a grating that lets air through. And if you go further and look up at the roof, I don't know where I could get a good angle to do this. The roof has that, it's kind of like a Scotch-Brite pad, scouring pad under the top row of shingles. You can see how the top row of shingles is a little taller in the center, and then it's capped down tight again. So it's got the venting ridge up there. Ridge vent, Venta Ridge. I don't know which brand name it is or what folks are familiar with as you travel around the country. Sometimes not the same construction projects don't land in the same places. Sometimes one side of the Mississippi has one thing and the other side has the other, or one side of the Washington or Mason-Dixon line, or some artificially drawn line has one building product and the other side has the other. So around here I think it's called Venta Ridge or Ridge Vent, or Ridge Vent I think is a generic term. I think it's Venta Ridge. Alright, so should I put a heater here right there I mean, assuming the bike isn't there to catch fire. And I turn the heat on. What's going to happen is right up against the heater, it'll feel kind of nice. Down the floor where my feet would be, going to feel lousy because the heat is going to rise. Up it goes, out the venter ridge, right? And then what replaces it? Cold air. And the cold air is going to stay right by the floor where it's going to make my feet frigid ice cold. So heating this place is impossible until I do something with the ceiling. A couple of different things one could do with the ceiling. One could be really cheap and go to Harbor Freight and get a 24 by 24 tarp and just, staple it all over the place on the ceiling rafters there, the trusses, and make it nice and flat with no holes, and theoretically that should help shut down the chimney effect and not all the heat would just gun up through to the sky. So one possibility, not a great possibility, and a lot of work to do for a temporary solution. And by the way, it'd be a real bear to do dealing with these things. I guess one could cut the tarp and tape it back up and all, and maybe get a second tarp and piece it in around there, but not once again, not a great solution. It probably wouldn't take long until I either drop something in an area like that, or a bug leaned up against it, or whatever else, and before you know it, it'd be snapping and sagging and falling. So that's not a good idea. The other thing I was thinking of doing is they have that rigid foam with the reflective side on it, and one could put that up and then use those. They're kind of like a tin flat thing. They use it for putting tarp paper down on roofs to keep the staples from blasting through them. Use a bunch of those discs and put up basically that rigid foam stuff. That's probably one of the best solutions, because one could do that, and then at some point when the money comes around, and unfortunately this might end up being a second generational thing when one of my sons ends up with a garage. Maybe they'll sheetrock it up and do a nice job like Wild-Eyed Northern Boy is doing with his pop's garage there. His father should be proud. He's really turning a garage into a nice functional shop, and it's huge. It's a big garage. It looks it's got to be 30 deep by 50. It's got to be 30 by 50. Which this is 24 by 24. Maybe it's even 36 by 50. So that would make it literally twice as wide as this, and half again as wide. If I were to build this shop again, by the way, and if for any of you people out there who are ever considering such things, I would have done one thing that would have bumped the price up a little bit, but not outstandingly for what it would have given me. I would have gone 6 foot bigger in the back. I would have done the doors just like I've done them. You will see exactly what you see here, but I would have gone another 6 foot this way, and by going 6 more foot that way, 6 foot deep by 24 long, would have allowed a lot of this stuff to be lined up right along, and I could have even put a shelf up theoretically and put a second stack of units. 24 feet, your average three-wheeler is somewhere around 36. The tractors are about 36. If you get a fat ass guy like the 250SX or the 250 ES, they're pretty fat, so that'd be wider. Alright folks, I gotta run. Live, love, and have a great time. We'll catch you on the next episode of The Hoard. Until then, remember, tires down, handlebars up. Live, love, and have a great time. Thanks for watching, subscribing, and commenting. Take care now.